Japan is one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world. Their scientific accomplishments leave many people in awe. However, it remains one of the conservative nations, where people are still unfamiliar with some popular concepts of the West. The LGBTQ+ has become one of the hot topics of this century. Even though people have a lot of freedom, especially in such parts of the world as America and Europe, there are still regions that are very strict about that. Japan also is considered one of the safest countries, but even there, some murders happened that left the nation shocked and in controversy.
Hello guys, and welcome back into the room where even walls have ears. It is so nice to see you here once again after 1 week delay. First of all, I want to apologize because I was sick, but I recuperated and here I am making a new video for you. So I hope you will like it and support it. Today we will visit Japan once again. Actually, this is my third video about that country, so if you are interested, I will leave the links to my previous videos somewhere here or in the description box below, so don't forget to check them out. And this story happened in the capital city of Tokyo. Most of you know that Tokyo is the biggest metropolitan area not only in Japan and in Asia, but also in the entire world, with more than 30 million people residing there. On November 13, 2015, the lifeless and faceless body of a 38-year-old transgender man named Yoshi Tsuchida was found in one of the apartments of Tokyo. This case puzzled and enraged the population of Japan at the same time. People were requiring justice and the truth. Moreover, this story made people think twice about the safety of Tokyo City, especially the representatives of LGBTQ+ community were very concerned. So, let's get started with the case of Yoshi Tsuchida.
Yoshi Tsuchida was born on January 6, 1977. He was not the only child in the family, and he had two sisters and a brother. He was very close with his family members, especially with his grandmother from his mother's side. No wonder she became the very first person to whom Yoshi came out. Even though Yoshi was born as a female, he was always feeling himself in a masculine way. He felt himself more like a male than a female. He finally came out as a 17-year-old young man and started his gender conversion journey in 1994. Japan is a quite tolerant country towards sexual minority groups, but back then he faced a lot of troubles and misunderstandings from the surrounding people.
Even his grandmother struggled to understand her grandchild. At first, she suggested he think more about that. Maybe he would change his mind and find a girl whom he could date. However, in 1994, Yoshi wanted to ensure that everyone knew who he was. And after that, his family, including his grandmother, became very supportive.
Probably that kind of support helped Yoshi to become such an empathetic and supportive person. He was majoring in social work. Since then, he has been working in a non-profit organization as a consultant who helped and navigated young community representatives with his consultation. He and a couple of other representatives of sexual minorities were trying their best to change the mindset of society.
He devoted himself to helping and protecting other people who were struggling and needed assistance. He was quite popular among minority groups and well known for assisting and even accepting people who needed shelter and help. He was among those who were fighting for human rights. Yoshi was even a part of the human rights campaign of the United States of America.
Everything happened in the Fussa district of Tokyo City, approximately 500 meters from the Fussa station. Yoshi had been in a series of relationships but was single when everything happened. However, he was not living alone. In 2008, he met a transgender woman, let's name her Keiko, and they became very close. So close that in 2011, Yoshi even legally adopted Keiko, and since then they've been living together in an apartment in the Fussa region. Some sources mentioned that Yoshi and Keiko were in romantic relations, but that information is not confirmed.
Later, Keiko said that she loved her foster father. As I mentioned before, Yoshi was very supportive and he was endorsing his daughter as well. He was supporting Keiko in her gender change journey and was the main reason actually for her gender transition. Since Yoshi was through a lot of surgeries before becoming a male that he always wanted to be, he promised that he would help and support Keiko while she was going to visit the United States for further surgical procedures.
Since Keiko was a grown-up person, she had her own relationships. In 2014, she met a man, let's name him Kohei, and Keiko and Kohei moved to another bedroom in the apartment of Yoshi. Just keep in mind him, I mean Kohei, because he will also play his part in the investigation. On November 13, 2015, Yoshi and his daughter Keiko came home late at around 1 a.m. They went to sleep in their bedrooms and everything seemed fine. Then, at around 2:30 a.m., Keiko heard some loud noises from her father's place. Since Yoshi liked watching TV at a high volume, she thought he probably left the TV on, so she just continued to sleep. Keiko woke up early at 5:30 a.m. She went to pour some coffee and grab something from the kitchen. Then, she decided to check up on her father. There was no response from her father, so she walked into his room and she was horrified by what she saw. Her father was lying on the floor with a plastic bag on his head and with a body wrapped in a blanket. The most awful thing was that his face was sliced off and his two dogs, Chihuahuas, were mauling his face. Keiko started screaming and asking for help. Her boyfriend Kohei rushed in and became the second witness of the awful scene. After they came to senses, they called the emergency center and the police arrived as soon as possible.
The investigation started. As it always happens, the family members, in our case Keiko and Kohei, became the first suspects. During their first interrogation, the testimonies of Keiko and her partner were different. Keiko said that she was in perfect relations with her father, and they never had any arguments.
However, according to the testimonies of the boyfriend of Keiko, they didn't get along together. Moreover, he stated that Keiko and her father were not in the best relations. They had some disputes because Yoshi thought that his opinion was superior and he knew the best since he was the father. They had a major argument before Keiko was going to visit Arizona in the USA. Of course, the police took that into account and they wanted to get more information from Keiko. Meanwhile, Keiko said that Kohei misunderstood everything and all the disputes they had with her father were normal disagreements in the family. She loved her father for all the support and guidance that he was showing. One of the guesses of Keiko was that her father's pets were the main culprits. She thought so because when she discovered Yoshi, dogs were chewing parts of his face. Screams she heard at around 2 a.m. she explained as the sounds of a fight of Yoshi with his dogs.
However, when the police interrogated Yoshi's neighbors, they stated that they didn't hear any noise. Apartments in Japan have very thin walls, and it was very baffling for detectives that absolutely no one heard anything while dogs were attacking their owners. The investigation simply got stuck.
A lot of suppositions were proposed. According to the police, Yoshi might have been murdered. He was overdosed with sedatives and sleeping pills he had been taking for a while. After that, he was asphyxiated and his face was sliced off. Detectives scrutinized the data on Yoshi's phone and they figured out that he didn't leave his apartment that night. Thus, the only two possible options were logic. First, Yoshi let someone in who later killed him, and second, someone who already was inside did that to him. So the police started the interrogation of Keiko and Kohei once again, but they repeated what they had said during their first interrogations.
Another option was that Yoshi took a huge dose of pills by himself and then took his own life. The smell of pills attracted dogs as pheromones. Dogs just tore the bag and started mauling his face.
What happened to Yoshi Tsuchida was not defined, and this case remains unsolved to this day. Of course, the family of Yoshi was trying to understand what was happening and who would hurt Yoshi. They were contemplating over every possible case, including the involvement of Keiko, but the final verdict was not named. Since there were no clues and allegations, no one was charged with the murder of Yoshi Tsuchida. The life just continued for all his family members. Keiko and her boyfriend still live in Tokyo but moved to another part of the city.
This is pretty much everything I wanted to share with you guys this time. To be honest, this case is a confusing one, and there are more questions than answers. What do you think, by the way? Was it a suicide, a homicide murder, or maybe the adopted daughter is the murderer that everyone is looking for? If you want to share your own opinion, feel free to leave your comment in the comment section below. Honestly, looking for materials for this video was a difficult task because there isn't much information even in Japanese language. The articles were very small and they didn't provide any additional information. So if you want to support my channel, please like this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If possible, share this video with people you know so more people will be aware of this story. And as always, take care of yourselves and see you next time.